Those lazy, hazy, crazy days of spring and summer reading are upon us, and what a book season it is, whether it's Cybil Shepard teaching Elvis a whole new way of lovin', or Brian Greene teaching us a whole new way of considering the universe. The stocks are bursting with lives, ideas, romance, and adventure. Get a pen and paper handy, because we're covering the picks and the pans of the publishers' lists here today on The Edge. Welcome from Vancouver. This is On the Edge on CTV. I'm your host, Robert Mason Lee, and we're talking books with our guests, Karen Konstantinovich. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Robert.
Karen is a books producer for the Vicky Gabourow's television show on CTV, as well as producing in other places. We're also joined by John Burns. Hi, John.
Hi, Robert.
John is books critic with the venerable Georgia Strait. And Jennifer Bryant. Hi,
Hello.
Jennifer. Jennifer is the catalog coordinator for Raincoast Books here in Vancouver. So let's jump into the water where it's deep with the buzz. I think the book that's causing the biggest buzz right now is the wonderfully titled Cybil Disobedience by Cybil Shepard, who turned 50 this week and has decided to take that moment to look back on a life, if not well, at least fruitfully spent. Sure.
You're talking about the Globe and Mail story on the weekend.
The excerpt
perhaps.
in the Globe.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it looked pretty dishy and the perfect thing for summer reading. Lots of gossip, lots of inside information, so to speak. Yeah, it looked good.
Well, she's scooping the dirt with a rather large trowel, isn't she? We have the inside scoop on her affair with, or non-affair with Bruce Willis, her affair with Charles Grodin, her affair with the King, Elvis, and the performance, if one can call it that, with the two stuntmen. I mean, this is Hollywood trash at its best.
I missed that one. But that is sort of what you want to read in the summer, is the stuff that you wouldn't be caught dead reading in the winter. You know, the sort of more lighthearted, you know, kind of fluffy stuff, I guess, in a way, you know?
And people having affairs with lots of other people.
Yes, perfect.
That's what summer reading's about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in Elvis's case, teaching him to eat something an awful lot nicer than peanut butter, banana, fried bread sandwiches.
Yeah.
Anything else causing a buzz at the moment in the shelves? Of course, we've got the return later this summer of... You even have to whisper the word. You feel the foundation shake, don't you?
Yes, yes.
Harry Potter,
and
Harry
the kids
Potter.
lining up outside of Raincoast Books in advance, yeah.
We've got to make sure that we've got our fair share of tattoos, stickers, posters, everything to keep them amused.
Raincoast rather fell into something of the deal of the century when they became the Harry Potter publisher for Canada, did they not?
Yes.
There are 18 million copies of Harry Potter in print worldwide.
And it keeps a large publicity and marketing department on its feet.
Yes, I bet it does. How are the kids? Well, first of all, what do we know about Harry Potter Volume 4? It's going to be called the Doomsday, Harry Potter and the Doomspell Tournament.
Yeah, and I think they've confirmed that that is going to be the title. For a while there, it was just called Harry Potter 4 because we just didn't know. They've played Harry very close to their chest this time.
Well,
and very little has been given away.
J.K. Rowling held a news conference recently in, I believe, London, where she let a few things drop. She said Harry was going to grow with the books, which I think is a rather nice idea. She'll write them until Harry's an adolescent, and presumably then they'll stop.
Be like a TV sitcom.
Or Michael Apted's 7 Up, Harry Up,
That's
Harry
right,
at 12 Up.
Yeah.
This next episode, though, he will be 12 or 13 years old, and he will discover girls. He's going to hold hands with the girl. Racy. When he's 14, he might be taking her books home from school. And there's also going to be a death somewhere around Hogwarts School of Wizardry. So some fairly adolescent
Well,
themes.
it's going to be a hefty book.
Is it?
Yes, it's going to be quite a few pages. It's averaging between 500 and 600 pages.
Any danger of milking or killing the golden goose or whatever with J.K. Rowling? Because those first 3 touched so many hearts and were wonderful. I almost fear, like with the movie treatment, too many sequels, or the movie treatment will wreck it.
Well, I think when you set out and you promise 7 off the bat, that's a pretty daunting.
Is that what she's done?
Yeah, it was 7, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and the first 4 are with Raincoast, and then the next 3
Will be up for grabs.
up for grabs. But
Yeah.
she has 3 more.
She's very clever about the way she's handled the whole thing so far. She's not overexposed herself. She's not appeared on every talk show in North America or in Britain.
And you've
she's
seen
controlled
the same
her
photographs
publicity.
of her continually over in the newspapers. So I think if she plays her cards right, by the time it starts to wane, she can offer to do a few television spots and that sort of thing. She has done some book signings in the States. Yes, if she plays it close to her chest, she can milk it all the way to 7. And, you know, we'll see. Whatever happens, people will be in the stores for Harry 4.
Well, you're all associated with the book trade. Is there any other buzz out there that I've missed? Could any of you explain to me why on the Chapters, New York Times, Globe and Mail bestseller lists, 3 of the top 10 titles are by guys who presumably can't even read and write? We're talking World Wrestling Federation wrestlers.
The Rock.
The Rock says
Mankind,
by
yeah.
The Rock, you know, Mankind.
Bret the Hitman Hart, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, have you looked at these, John? Have you
I have seen them. Our sports columnist for this straight did a books roundup that comes out this week, and he says he went into some depth about those books, and he says The Rock is going to take it on points. That's
points.
That's what he had to say about it. But he said basically they're just about carnage. You know, it's a soap opera about carnage.
Carnage and ego. I looked in The Rock. It's written in the 3rd person.
Yeah.
The Rock writes, "The Rock never looked so good when The Rock got off the plane in Denver." Right? I thought I had an ego.
Yeah. Well, he's got 2 or 3 other names as well. And he's got various personas that, you know, they all do. But there are also obviously ghostwriters behind all of these books.
One presumes so. I'd say the writing...
Bret the Hitman Hart didn't write the whole
The wrestling's real, the writing's real,
Right.
John.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah, exactly.
They're really doing it. I don't get it, though. They're selling gazillions of these books.
Yeah.
Who reads the WrestleMania books?
On Amazon.com, I think it's the Rock book, had 500 user reviews on the Amazon site.
Wow.
All love the book, every one of them.
14-year-old boys.
Yes.
I guess. I don't
you know
know.
what? They all love that book, and they all intend to read another one someday. Come back. Here, more book talk on The Edge.
More big game hunting. More journeys to the center of the earth. More quests for sunken treasure. For him to get more out of life, feed him nutrition that makes a difference, like Iams Large Breed formula. It has a balanced level of calcium and minerals for healthy bones and joints. Not to mention, more praise for the conquering hero. Nutrition that makes a difference. Iams, good for life.
Once there lived a king, a prince, and a terrible creature. The creature lived in a dark cave. It had a long row of sharp teeth and eyes that glowed in the darkness. Its long arms could reach out and zap you, but they could not reach as far as the castle. So the king and the prince were safe.
For everyone who loves you, come home safe tonight.
Join the fun at the Ponderoosca as your favorite professional live theater group, Souris Valley Theater, presents Big Bonanza Hoedown, July 5th to 23rd. Written by Randy Apostle and directed by Ron Rohr, Big Bonanza Hoedown makes you part of the antics at the Ponderoosca with Ma Cartwheel and her daughters. Showtimes are 7:30 p.m. Wednesday through Sunday under the Big Top in Estevan. Be sure not to miss the Big Bonanza Hoedown, July 5th to 23rd with Souris Valley Theater.
Tonight on CTV, the mysterious death of an heiress leads a private detective.
He killed her.
On a quest for the truth.
What is she doing hiding out in the middle of South Africa? I don't know.
In a case of deception.
It wasn't supposed to happen like this.
Where nothing is as it seems.
Don't ever take anything away from me again.
You could get hurt.
I'm already hurt.
Hard to forget. Tonight at 9 on CTV.
Talking books on The Edge. John, is there anything to add to Harry Potter Mania?
Well, there's something that I've been following, which is the strange books. They're written by a man named Lemony Snicket.
Great name.
Great name. May not have been born with it.
Real?
Picked it off a tree.
Yeah.
He's written a series of kids' books. We're up to number 4. I only have the first 3, but number 4 has just come out. They're called A Series of Unfortunate Events, I think. Bad Happenings.
Yes.
Is what they call it.
Yeah.
And they're about the Baudelaire orphans. And these poor orphans who are, their parents die, they have all this money in trust, and they get shuttled from one family member to another, these distant family members who look after them, but there's the evil count who's always trying to get a hold of them to get their money. And in every book, he gets a hold of them, and the narrator says, I wish I could tell you that the Baudelaire orphans are going to survive this, and they're going to live happily and have big houses because there's all this money, but I'm sorry to say. And every one of these, 20 or 30 times. And I think you have to be a little bit careful the age of kid that you're reading this to or with. You know, I think below 12, you want to be reading it maybe with a child.
Yeah.
They're kind of disconcerting, aren't they?
Yes, they are. I found it a little disconcerting.
You did as well.
Yeah, I read the first one, and